What up, y'all? It's your boy Polo Cut Says D. We are back here at Ace of Fates Barbershop to the best podcast in San Diego. You already know what it is. This is Off the Clipper Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube, and you can always listen to us on any streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. I'm right here with the gang, my boy, the right-hand man, one and only
Manny Rocks.
In the building, baby. Yes, sir. We got my boy out from Vegas right here visiting us. You already know every time he's out here, he's got to, join us on the podcast. My boy, the one and only.
Got Darren the Barbarian.
Yes, sir. Today we got a dope-ass guest. I heard about him on an Uber ride to the Bad Bunny concert. The Uber driver was just, chopping it up with me, letting me know that he was a dope-ass comedian. My boy, Benji in the building, baby.
Ooh, thank you, Bad Bunny, for the opportunity.
Hell yeah.
Lord's work. You're doing the Lord's work.
Hey, bro, thank you for coming out, dog. I hit you up on a short-ass fucking notice. I think earlier today I was like, yo, can you come through? And you're like, hell yeah.
You can kind of thank the Philadelphia Phillies for my availability tonight.
Hell yeah. Dirty. Fuck, that sucks. Damn, we're really gonna start off like that. That's crazy, bro.
Hey, we started in the bottom. We're gonna end up top. All right, guys. That's what it is.
Oh hell nah, bro. Dog, how are you, bro? How's it going?
I'm doing okay considering the previous three sentences, but yeah, man. South San Diego, Imperial Beach, Palm Avenue. I love this, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you for coming out, dog, and taking your time to kick it with us, bro. I hope it's a good ass fucking podcast. I hope we talk some shit. I hope we get loose and shit, and let's get it popping.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, dog. I know you're a comedian. You handle a lot of comedy shows out here in San Diego. From what I hear, it's a lot of North County. You do a lot of North County shows, and then you're out here in San Diego.
No. Actually, I just happen to do shows in North County, but
You're everywhere?
I'm from Chula Vista, not everywhere. I'm not in those super white spots in between.
Okay.
So, but I'm from San Isidro originally. Born in TJ. Used to cross the border to go to school till I was 10 every day in the morning. Before the line was 4 hours long. Folks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to school here at Southwest High.
That's right.
Oh, what? Us too. Hell yeah, baby.
Hell yeah.
I used to go to the Poor People's Beach right here, Imperial Beach. Oh, you gotta chug that, dog. They hit that. That
was that Southwest vibe right there.
It was.
Circle it.
Corona, proud supporter of the Southwest Raiders.
Suck it.
Woo.
Suck it?
Damn, you didn't have to go that deep, fool. Damn.
We're glad these seats are real leather. That they're made for this. They're made for spillage.
I got a little fucking excited, dog, when you said that you were from Southwest. That's what's crazy?
Absolutely.
Everybody here except for this guy. Oh, except for them two. We all went to Southwest.
Oh, the barbers.
Oh,
the barbers. Everybody here went to Southwest. So
all the barbers.
Hell yeah. Well, I hope I'm not the only one, man. But I've done a bunch of court right here in South Bay.
Chula Vista?
Chula Vista Court. Anybody else?
Oh, right here, baby, right here.
That too. But yeah,
Like the courthouse on 8th Street?
That's
Hell
it.
yeah.
I never went to any of my court dates, so.
Oh, you're way cooler than us.
He's on the run.
But that's why you're from Vegas, dog. You're on the run. You're cooler than us, man. They're not gonna catch you.
I always had that $300 added to the everything, right?
I always played guilty for, and they just cut my shit off.
Well, I'm Asian, so when they pulled me over, I just, I go to SDSU. I'm a math major. They let me go. They're like, oh, okay.
You just pull out your ID and shit. They're like, okay, sir, go on.
But then they see South San Diego, and they're like, oh, fuck, nah, this was the other type of Asian. Hold on.
Like, mistake.
Can we
you live
get off the car?
by the horses, huh? Okay.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
Border Patrol City, you know what I mean?
Hey,
He's like, you're not from La Mesa.
Specific.
You're not from La Mesa. You're from National City, Asian. Nah, hey, pull over, sir.
You're below the 54. Yup. Get off the car right now.
I was gonna tell you. You said you do like shows up north, like where the Comedy Store is in there. Have you been there?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't do a lot of shows at the La Jolla Comedy Store. It's kind of like not an ongoing beef. Actually, I don't have beef with them. It's
we love beef.
It's been really far, from South San Diego. So I never got the opportunity to drive up there. But I have done shows there before, shows at the American Comedy Company downtown, Laugh Factory, pretty much every comedy club in San Diego. My path has taken me to do the independent thing.
The best. That's the
better,
best.
bro.
Yeah, in control of what I have to do. I don't have to limit myself, and then I could also put forth the vision that I wish somebody would set up for me. So like all the shows we do, they're essentially built on the talent that performs and supports us. We've always been very, very strong on doing not just the minority for us, but we also have a lot of ladies. We also have, a lot of LGBTQ and the Spanish shows, like we're the only cats that really started. If you guys know Felipe Esparza, before he did his Netflix special where he did in English Spanish, he did a lot of his practice down here with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got to open and host for him in several spots. We got to do the Comedy Palace before it became the Mic Drop. But he's just one of the dudes that worked with us and allowed us to expand on what we do. But yeah, no, I'm mainly South San Diego, man. But because I'm San Diego, that's why I do shows in Vista, at the Grand Comedy Club in Escondido, and then a couple other spots in between. But that's kind of what it is. We not just with the comedy shows. We have a couple of podcasts up. We do variety shows. We do cannabis, shows.
Nice.
So like we used to do a lot of weed shows before the Prop 68 and stuff. We were some of the first. We actually did the first cannabis sesh in San Diego at Over the Border in 2013.
Let me find out it was on Ladies' Night.
No, it wasn't. No, solo para mujeres. I actually got to host that.
No way.
Yeah, dude. They had, because I knew how to speak English. I was a host, so I got to see all the tias get all horny and wet for all the dancers and shit.
You probably saw my mom there once.
Those are my favorites.
My mom used to go there all the time.
I love them.
Well,
Shout out to
hopefully.
the tias out there.
Did I fuck?
South Bay tias, I'm right here.
Hopefully she won the bucket, because they always used to invite them. Yeah, it was like, come up and do. They would have the pole, the stripper pole, and they were like, hey, a free bucket for the strip, the best. And there was like all the tias that were like, and then there was maybe the one niece,
the horny one.
The one, no, they were all horny, dog. The one niece that was hot, that she didn't want to be there with her tia, because and she knew how to do it the best, and she would always win the tip.
They would
bucket.
always say, "Ándale, mija, ándale, ándale."
And then cabrón. But it was great. No, yeah, Over the Border. Shout out to them too.
Big shout out to them. Hey, big shout out to Black Box Gallery as well, because I just found out that my boy right here did a couple shows right there already. Yeah, that's dope. Those are my people right there. Actually, Manny went to school with one of them, and I went to school with the brother.
Yeah,
and
Southwest, right?
Yeah, we
that
all.
place is
Yeah,
sick, they do a lot of different shows.
Yeah, bro. We're trying to do a show there ourselves there. We're trying to do a podcast and then like a collaboration with them. I don't know, something cool, maybe like a barber battle or something.
Well, I think it's in the card, because from what I've seen from the other shows that they've done, that's straight up their alley. And we're filming like a comedy contest pilot. So some white dude from like LA. So I make it sound all plain now. Some really cool comedian dude that supported me, happens to be white. His name's Steve Sirianni. He came to me with a pitch to do a comedy contest to pitch for like syndication, and we're doing it there at the Black Box. But outside of that, we're talking about doing a live trivia, having a game show, and then doing my talk show there. So that's where everything comes into play, where they have live entertainment, musicians, and then comedians, and then we film it straight from that spot right there. So,
awesome,
yeah, that's
dude.
why I'm in love with that spot. So shout out to those guys.
Yes, sir. You gotta give me a heads up. I don't know if you got like a schedule or something, but let me know when you're gonna be there, and then fuck it, dude. I want to go check out your shows, bro.
Okay, well, we have, I know you guys are hip. The Linktree, very simple, up comedy shows.
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans is coming up, man. I'm just trying to lose some weight. I heard that you have a personal trainer. I'm counting my calories and shit.
Yes, sir.
Mercury is not in retrograde anymore, so I can't go crazy with all that kombucha. But you know what? I believe in myself. I'm counting my calories. Like, what's this Corona Premium? Only 90 calories?
Baby.
Yeah.
90, baby.
Look at that, man.
See, you hang out with us one day, bro. You're already fucking doing way better.
Health conscious. You see that? Health conscious. But yeah, no, check it out right there, because we do have the filming for those live shows, and then Spanish show, and then we have a New Year's show at Black Box.
Oh, nice.
Yes, yeah. we just sealed that a couple of days ago.
What day is that going to be?
I think it lands on a Saturday, but it's December 31st, 2022.
It's a Saturday this year.
Oh, okay.
Christmas is on a Sunday.
Christmas is on the 25th, right?
Wait. White Christmas or Mexican Christmas? Because Mexican Christmas is the 24th.
On Saturday.
It's not Christmas. Manny's birthday. All right?
Noche Buena.
My bad. Noche Buena. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, I celebrate Christmas on the 24th. Why do you think Mexicans do that, bro?
Filipinos
because
do
we
it
get to
too.
party for 2 days. That's
Dude,
why
we're
we
late
party.
we're late for everything.
24th and the 25th.
We're late for everything,
But
early
Christmas.
for Christmas, puto.
Yeah.
Once the posada ends, that's when Navidad's Navidad. Ya abren los pinches regalos.
It's because we party on the 24th, we recover on the Christmas, and we go back to work on the 26th. You know,
Sounds
if
about
you
right.
party
Yeah,
on
it is.
party on Christmas, you gotta.
Shit, I don't know. At my house,
know?
we start partying on the 24th, and then we don't stop till the 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's the
we're
4th.
over 30 now, so those hangovers last a little
Thank you,
longer.
Costco. Yeah, bro.
Mine's still the 4th right now.
We're
You know?
over.
Oh, actually, if you really want to be serious, fucking Dia de los Reyes is where it really stops.
Oh, yeah.
That's
man.
when your mom throws away the tree, the Christmas tree. What do they call that in English? The three.
The Christmas tree.
No way, no way.
The wise men. They don't
The
call
wise
it like
men,
the wise men.
The wise men.
They don't celebrate that, right?
You guys, I'm all looking at you.
What am I, American?
Hey, Chippy, do we celebrate
The-
fucking
the
the three
three
wise
wise
men
men.
here in San Diego, in California, fucking idiot,
In America?
in America?
And I don't think
And
so.
Dago, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we're so close to the border.
Yeah.
Well, we
I
celebrate
don't
los
think
tres
so.
Reyes Magos, the Reyes Magos.
I don't think.
Nah?
No.
Yeah, I really don't see people doing that, but I don't know. My mom puts up the boot sometimes, and then I think it's just bullshit because you can't get a really big gift because it only fits in, whatever fits in there.
Is
You can
it
get an
the same-
iPhone.
Is it the same boot from
I
like
was gonna say.
Oktoberfest or
Nah,
different boot?
different.
Oh, okay.
It's the one that, yeah, the stocking.
Stocking stuffers. That's
Yeah.
not kings like. That's white people like, right?
Yeah, same shit. I don't know.
Well, I know all the little white Mexicans are gonna use the Tres Reyes Magos just to get another tablet or iPhone 14.
Whatever fits in there.
Whatever they can get, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
what I want.
Hey, so tell me, what is out of all the places you've been in San Diego, bro? Where do you feel like you get the most, like the best shows in all of Dago?
Right now,
Yeah,
like
like where you see the most interaction from the crowd.
like okay, well, look, actually, we get a lot of good reaction in general from a lot of the shows because it's kind of how you set it up. But the shows where we get the most consistent turnout is the Mic Drop Comedy Club, which is brand new. They're just really brand new, less than a year, and I'll tell you why. They're the only club in San Diego that they don't have an item minimum, which means if you pay your ticket, they're not gonna be like, hey, you one drink, two drink, you know. So that's right now why they're like the best one, because people aren't stressed out about having to spend more than the $10, you know. So that's why I'm super, yeah, you know. Okay. So if you can think about that, you know, even if you give a free ticket to somebody, these clubs, they have the 2-item minimum, and most items are like $7-8, right? And then the obligatory guilty tip, you know. I mean,
So you're telling me people go to the shows and they don't want to drink, like buy drinks sometimes?
yeah.
What?
Some of them.
Or maybe they don't drink. Maybe
Oh, I
some
guess.
alcoholics like us.
I don't know.
No, or either look. I mean, maybe this is where for my demographic, because you know, like I know I should like move the tier up, but I'm always thinking about like all the people that I know, and the way I would feel is like, look, I mean, I got, you know, having the day off to go, you know, not working a weekday, which is normally when we have to work, right, and then spending off the bat 10. If you're lucky, if not $20, right? And then another $14-15 plus the tip. That's like a $40, you know, thing. You know?
Yeah.
A day,
That's what I spent for breakfast.
I don't know, dog. I feel like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking.
balling.
Nah, I don't want to say that. But
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
are. It's okay. Don't worry about that.
When I go to places, dog, I mean, I get butthurt if they don't sell beer. Like I want to be able to have like fucking
A bucket.
At least 10.
Bottle service.
And you know, like any good comedy show, like the main anchor is the concessions, mainly having the alcohol beverages.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what makes the night just smoother.
Yep.
At the end of the night, you know, everybody's a little bit loosey goosey. You know,
Yep.
there's no you know, uptight buttholes. You know, everybody laughed at all the crazy shit. And when you have like your closer, your headliner, or your back of the lineup, everybody's already having a good time and they don't give a shit, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the formula. But, you know, no,
Okay.
they're
So
definitely...
kind of like not like people get too drunk because they get
No, they
don't start paying attention. type
No,
of
it
thing,
never
or-
gets that bad. You know, like
Yeah, right,
the,
right.
the only times it gets that bad is when, and we don't do this a lot because we prepare ahead. Like we've done a lot of bar shows, you know, shows in bars. The different
hecklers and shit.
Yeah, and
That's what I was gonna ask.
And the thing about that is, in those bar shows, why when we set up those bar shows, we're very specific about. Look, check it out. We need you to, in order for us to have a successful show, which means we have a good time. You make some money, blah, blah, blah. We need to turn your bar this night into a comedy club. And this is how you do it. First of all, you turn off all the lights, you know, turn off all the lights, you turn off all the TVs. Exactly, you know, and then you let us control the night, you know, that way, you know, everybody's focusing and it's a change of experience. So, and you know what? We have a good time because it's a bar, it's rowdy, but it's a controlled rowdiness, you know, and people appreciate production, attention to detail, and talent. So the core is always going to be booking funny comics that, you know, they're gonna, if you're not paying attention maybe in the beginning, you're going to turn around because other people are laughing. You're going to wonder what the fuck's going on. And that's how we've won over bars. But the main thing from all these years is just ahead of time because it's been some train wrecks, you know, where you're fighting uphill. People are watching hockey in Imperial Beach. Like, what the fuck watching hockey in Imperial Beach? You know what I mean? Like, turn that shit off. It's like one dude, he's buying 2 beers, you know, but it's great. I love doing shows as long as the venue, whichever the venue is, we're in the same page. We communicate like, this is what we need. This is what you want, right? You want people to spend? Okay, we'll have people spend, but you need to, you know, do this, you know? And
I mean, you got to scratch each other's back, dog, at the end of the day. If you want to fucking work and make it a successful night, that's exactly what you got to do. Where do you get your, so you are like the person that's in charge of a lot of these shows, correct?
Yes.
When you first started, or how do you get where'd you learn how to do this, how to create and how to produce?
And the production angle comes from when I was a kid. I used to go to San Isidro Middle. Shout out Vikings. Woo!
Yes, sir.
And I used to be part of the Sims Live team back in the day. I don't know if they still have that, but it was like a live stream, closed circuit, little news during advisory in the mornings where
Southwest had that too.
So and it was like with the little announcements, and that's where I kind of got the bug for it.
That's crazy.
And then at Southwest, I was part of the video productions team. So then, you know, when they filmed stuff or whatever, is where I sort of started getting, you know, the chops or the ability to work with an editing computer. You know, like I'm talking 1998, 99. This is when the iMac G3, G2 was coming out. And then Southwestern College, telemedia. And then I worked for a live entertainment company for about 5-6 years where I actually got to go to Houston, to Oregon, New Mexico, all these places to set up lighting, sound, stage, and instruments. So that's where I already knew where the production and the experience. So then when I finally just like, you know, hey, I should do stand up, and because since I've always been like the goofy little kid, you know, and I've always been, you know, people always told me, yeah, you know, or either it's been
you got
ADHD, you know, like I'll say the funny thing at the wrong time and shit. No, I don't have that shit.
Oh, no.
Chlamydia, maybe not anymore. I took the pills. Kidding. I don't have that much sex. I'm not that cool.
That's chlamydia.
But so then when I finally started doing the comedy, and then a couple of years into me doing the comedy, and then seeing that a lot of these cats wouldn't let me be part. You know, no matter how much I would support, how much I would get them high, you know, get them coked out or whatever, they were still like, you know, it's a little boys club, you know, especially, you know, not as much.
Holding out.
Politics, bro.
It's a little white boys club, you know what I mean? It's what it was. So then I was like, hey, fuck this. I know how to put on shows. So then I bought my lights, I bought my PA, and then I just went out and I started doing it. So, you know, that was 12 years ago. As far as me producing my shows, it was 3 years before that when I started sort of doing comedy straight. So yeah, in between all that, it just I mixed in what I knew about having a good show, you know, because I love concerts. I love live music, you know. I love artists. My brothers are musicians, you know, and you know, like I've been to, you know, Coachella, a bunch of Muse concerts. I've even gone to Dave Matthews, you know, like I love the experience. But more than anything is like the way people enjoy that shit, you know. So that's what I've always tried to put into my shows. And you know, whenever my shows, the biggest difference is that we have the most production than anybody. You know, like nobody in this city has done what I have in terms of production, because they don't know. Like some of these guys were like doing, an office job, and I'm gonna do stand up, and they put on a show, and then they show up with no sound and no lights, and people can't see what the fuck is going on. Yeah. And then, but what I do is like, if we have screens, thanks to Southwestern College and a communications degree, and I have projections. I have that's how I do a lot of the contests, and I do like promos, commercials, my little stupid talk show. I was doing it from my apartment in 2010, streaming it to Justin TV before it closed down, and it was a fucking 1 hour live stream shit. So all that, I put it into my shows, and it makes it just a little bit more worth the ride.
More detail, like you're saying.
Yeah, man. So
that's the stuff that comes from like actually doing it, Yeah, and as opposed to like, someone that's like, oh, I'm not go up there on stage and everything's gonna be good,
Just for me, I do. For me, I I love to see people enjoy it. I don't do it just for myself because it sucks when
it's like watching a movie with no music.
Yeah, man. Know? Yeah, you need the feedback. Or when you're fucking and you're not getting any reaction, there's no. Remember you were saying?
Yeah.
Where's that?
No queefing.
I want to hear that. No queefing. It's not working. But yeah, no. It's about symbiosis and being in the moment. Like some people just go through stuff because they think they want to be. And that's cool. I don't know hate about it, but I know that those of us that enjoy the experience of the moments, especially when it seems like it's gonna be harsh or it's gonna suck or was a pain in the ass to put together. But when you're finally on the other side of that finished event, project, experiment, it feels fucking great. Feels like,
hell yeah. Hey, but that's fucking. I love it when someone. To me personally, I love it when someone puts in, when they're gonna do something, bro, and they fucking actually take their time and they actually use everything they've learned throughout the years, dog. Like just the fact that you're saying that all the shit you learned in middle school and in high school and all that shit, for you to be able to contribute all that knowledge you gained as a kid to what you do now. That says a lot about your work. That I want to go check out a show, bro, because I want to fucking see all that production, all that fucking all the things you do behind the scenes that we don't see, because people think just going up on stage. I mean, I've thought about that before. I have homies that have tried to do stand-up comedy before, and they don't give a fuck about anything but the mic and the stage. A lot of people think that's all that it is, but it ain't. There's so much behind it, and that takes balls and fucking knowledge, bro.
Big balls.
It's a lot of growth though too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like some growth.
Yeah, but
girth too.
I mean, but that growth, we could see the growth that you've had, because the first thing you said was, when I was in middle school. Shit, middle school must have been what, like 19 fucking.
Oh, you're fat.
Damn. Okay.
I told you it was 1996, dog.
Yeah, but
Ken Caminiti won National League MVP.
Damn.
Yeah, big dog. That was a long time ago.
But
Tupac was alive.
That's
Tupac.
Time, bro.
Tupac was still alive, actually. Yeah.
But that goes to show that you fucking put in the fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I respect you for that, dog. That's dope. At least for me, like when I want to do I just started doing these podcasts. What, fucking 2 years ago? Almost 2 years ago. And I could have just fucking gone to the store and bought some bullshit ass fucking equalizer and some bullshit ass mics, but we said, nah, fuck that, dude. Let's fucking
throw some bread on it.
As a matter of fact, I was buying some bullshit ass fucking equalizer, and then I seen some guy walk up to me and my boy Omatic. He walked up next to us, and this fool was paying for all his shit, and it was like a $2,000-$3,000 fucking check, and my shit was only like $500. And then I was like, I seen this fool go, oh fuck, damn, that's the shit we want. And I said, what the fuck you mean, fool? Then why the fuck we buying this for, dog? Like, so I want the shit he has, fool. Like,
so you didn't buy this on the Wish app, dog?
Nah. I wish. Fuck.
Nah, you would get it till like 2025 and
yeah,
shit.
for sure, dog. So then I was like, nah, fuck that, fool. Let's put everything back. Let's get everything that fool got. And then, if you're going to do things right, you got to do it the right way, And I'm pretty sure we still got a lot of shit to work on, but little by little, we're still growing. Just how, I just started 2 years ago. Maybe like in 15 years, I'll be like, hey, dog, like, this is where we're at now.
2 years is a long time.
You can have your own place, though, too.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually I would like...
Add a little,
yeah,
place you ran.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Off the Clipper, I wanted to give it that barbershop vibe. The barber chairs. The barbershop talk, the barbershop bullshitting. So I mean, we're heading the right direction. Maybe later on we could have a studio where it looks like a barbershop. We don't even cut her out of it. That's the fucking goal eventually.
Yeah, so far it seems so. I mean, 2 years into stuff. I know a bunch of people that quit a year into stuff, and they start on fire. Like, oh, I'm gonna be the next Fluffy or the next what's her name? That chick that is in it, Sarah Silverman. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they lose the phase, by a year and a half. You know?
That's one thing that I always fucking put myself. I need consistency and I need to be committed, bro. Like, we fucking have almost 100 fucking episodes on this podcast already.
That's a lot. Yeah. Congratulations, man. That's consistency, if anything, man.
Yeah. So that's what that's why every time I hear stories like yours, bro, I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. That's fucking amazing because you're still going and you're doing way better than you fucking did fucking 15 years ago. And you're growing. Growth is the best fucking, the best result you can get, bro. If you're growing, bro, you're fucking doing a great job.
Well, growth is hope, For sure, all the way. Growth is hope. And if you are ever doubting yourself or having a bad day, at least in my case, and it took me a couple of times and advice from people to be like, be grateful for what you already got, for what you've already done, right? And then understand that, the main thing about depression and failure is when people lose hope. So as long as you keep moving forward, that's hope, and fuel yourself on that, pat yourself on the back, and keep going, man.
Fuck yeah.
And that's yes.
Awesome. How'd you get into comedy, dog?
Okay, so I mentioned that I was doing like that live entertainment stuff, and I was doing the stage and all, touring around, working as a stage hands show tech. And then one of the dudes that I started working with, and his name is DeBruler. He now lives in Oregon, and I'll mention because he was literally the dude that while we were setting up everything, right, instruments, because it was like a 2-3 hour setup. Breakdown's always an hour, but and it would be Los Angeles, Oregon, Bakersfield, like all these before the recession, 2000. It was like 2005, 2006, and he would catch. I mean, like just bullshitting, cagando el palo, saying dumb shit. And just like before, like in high school and other places, this was like, hey man, you should really try doing stand up. And eventually, I listened to him. The story behind him, he was a regular at the Comedy Store in La Jolla when he was 17, 18, and 19. And then he got kicked out when he was 19 because he did a bit when he smoked the joint on stage, and then he got kicked out.
Wow.
Yeah, and I met him when he was 24. So
Biden just excused all that, so he should be able to get back in.
And his student loans,
Yeah.
We should apply for that, Gene.
For real.
But so then that dude, somehow he convinced me, and then I started hitting up open mics. So you guys can blame him. And it took a little bit in between me really hitting stride. And I think this is very important because, like some people think they're going to be hilarious right off the bat, especially because, some of us are funny and silly and stupid and rambunctious. That's a super white word, in real life. And translating that on stage
is way different.
Yeah, that's what it's called growing, like people sometimes crawl and they walk, but that's where you become yourself on stage, and that's where the convergence of your reality and your comedy and then whatever the intangibles are.
Yeah.
And some people don't have the patience or the heart to go through hard times, because in the beginning you don't get to stand up in front of full audiences that are ready for comedy. The most open mics is just other comics or random people or bars that they're there to try and get drunk and forget their life.
Most of the time, they're not even fucking listening to you.
They're not listening, absolutely. So it's disheartening to a lot of people that think they're gonna walk up on stage and they're gonna get their their Netflix special,
Yeah.
But that's kind of why I understand, and I always have mad respect for anybody that goes through what's called the real grind. Like if you love it and you believe in yourself, or you're fucking crazy, you're gonna do like the Looney Tunes and like Tom Brady right now, where he walks off the fucking cliff and he doesn't look down, and he's 45 and he doesn't look down and he keeps walking off the stage. That's pretty much what the passion to what you're doing is, and eventually it just manifests itself into the reality. Like vindication after putting in the work. And taking all the putazos, failures, deceptions, backstabbings, overdraft fees. it's vindicated to when you get that moment when, you know, like, I mean, I'm sure you guys are proud of yourself, everything you guys have done, 100 episodes in 2 years, you know, I mean, you guys got 2 shops. I mean, it's pretty dope, you know, like it's admiring, you know. I bet there's a bunch of people that, you know, can learn a lot from just for what you guys have made happen already, and so that's actually the best thing, because you can't make this shit up. It happened. You did it.
Yeah.
You know, and the people that aren't delusional, they'll connect with that, because success leaves clues, and that's what you know. I personally always see. You know, I see that anybody that's done anything worthwhile, it wasn't easy. They didn't hit a home run. You know, they didn't invent Twitter, the first, you know, app they did. It took them years, and it took failures, and, you know, a bunch of other crap in their life. But yeah, that's kind of what's up. And you know, just taking it back in, I think that is the hardest thing, and what the true talent is from anybody that has talent. Because there's a lot of talented people, but there's some people that are just too weak and not strong enough to work to give life to that talent, because there's a lot of God-given talent, but there's few people that know how to bust their ass. There's few people that know how to be tenacious, you know, and that's really what separates it, you know.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, or like what's worked for me, because I mean, tenacity.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that goes for every type of fucking different industry, you know. At least in ours, there's a lot of that shit too, and we see that a lot, right?
For sure. I mean, with anything, there's politics. There's, like you said, backstabbings. There's all growth, all that, man.
Yeah,
and any talent industry, and you guys are definitely in that, you know.
Oh yeah,
in our trade for sure. Like, you know, the OGs, like we, you know, work all day and stuff. Like, and then the youngsters, like, they fall in love with the lifestyle. And
the success,
you know,
and the result
see us, you know, drinking a beer or, you know, doing whatever, and they fall in love with that. But then it's like it's time to work, and they only want to work freaking 3-4 hours a day, and then go home and work. And
but that's
like,
dude, to me, that's a social media culture.
Know? Oh fuck
right?
yeah,
Because
all the fucking way.
It's put in a vacuum, you know, like years ago, right? You know, like, you know, when you want to talk about music, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, gangster rap and hip hop, original hip hop in the 90s, you know, like right now it's oversaturated just on talent, and you know, young people, like it's in their hands. They see success like that,
and they don't know how to fucking take care of it.
They don't know. I mean, you know, it's the perception of, you know, instead of them understanding that, you know. And it's crazy, you know, like it's like an acid trip where you're like, man, it'd be crazy if they understood that what they think feels good from looking is way better when you know it is, right? Yep. When, you know, like like I said, it's a pain in the ass, but when you're on the other side, it feels pretty dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all the fucking way.
When you know it's real, it's not, you're not afraid if anybody's gonna, no, you know, like it's the real deal. But again, acid trip, I'm too old for that. Not for the acid trip, but just to identify with how easy it is, you know, because like I'll get sad, you know, like you know, I'll watch the Instagram and all this, and my wisdom will be like, hey fool, you're doing what you're doing. You know, keep working. All right, that fucker that you hooked up, he didn't hook you back up. All right, fuck that motherfucker. Keep working. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of, and I could see how some kids, because even my kid, you know, I could see her going through stuff where, you know, like she's comparing herself to something that she doesn't understand. You know, and it just goes back down to
that's dangerous, dog. Comparing yourself to other people, that shit could be dangerous. Because
as they say.
Go ahead. You got it.
On 3.
Nah.
You know,
one, two. A fucking barbershop quartet right here.
You know, like, you know, what they say is like people post on their IG like their highlight reel, you know, and then people go on there and they're like, you know, whatever it is they're going through life, and they're comparing themselves to someone's highlight reel when that's like the best moment of their life. They don't know what's the worst one, right? No one's gonna post like the bad stuff. It's all gonna be good. So someone that's going through shit and they're not like mentally mature enough to understand that, they're gonna get even deeper in a hole because of what they're seeing.
It's crazy, especially because this is one thing I learned, and I'm gonna put that out because it applies totally to this context, to where being centered. Most of these kids that get thrown off for all these outside perceptions, they're not centered to where they know the core of who they are. And I had a friend that saw me going crazy on social media about 10 years ago, and he's like a black belt, and he's like, Benji, I see you're struggling, see you're fighting, and all this other stuff, you know. And he's like, and it's because, you know, I feel that you're not centered. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, tell me 3 things
Your chakras
that you know that is undeniably factual and true. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm a hard worker. I'm like, all right, Benji, you're a hard worker. You're a good friend. All right, you're a good friend. All right, I'm funny. I was like, all right. So anytime somebody attacks you in one of those 3 things, you can add more, he said. But anytime they don't know you. Yeah. They don't know you, you know? And neutralize that, because if they don't know you, they would know that whatever these 3 things that you know are in your center core, they don't know you, you know? So it shouldn't affect you. You should, and you know what? It's helped. And I see that's kind of where it is. And it kind of sucks that some, you know, like if you don't center, it's when you're so young and you're impressionable and you see the bling and, you know, the Kardashians and, you know,
Cardi B's.
Right, Cardi B's and these young kids with the Lamborghinis and shit, which they're probably rented or they just,
sure.
they just took a picture in front of some bullshit, because I've done that. But at least people know I'm fucking around. You know? Yeah. Like, look, I just leased this fucking Lambo or something. But yeah, no, centering yourself. If anybody's listening, understand that. You know, having a bad time, you know, when I learned how to center myself as far as those things, it helped me. It helped me eliminate a lot of bullshit that was unnecessary, because I know me. I know what I am, right?
Fuck yeah.
That's it. That's it on that one.
Where do you get your so you started your comedy career because of that your homeboy. Mm-hmm. Where do you feel like you get your comedy style from? Is it because I recently I was watching this one interview. I forget the name of the guy, but it's that one dude with this one fool that's always dressed in a tuxedo, and he's super fucking hard on his fucking interviewers. Or he has like a slick back haircut. White. Is it Ron White?
Well, he's usually drunk.
He's a comedian or a politician?
No. He's I don't know. He's not a comedian. He's like a politician or like he just interviews people. He has a podcast though, but he's always on a tuxedo and he's fucking very like fucking well spoken. Anyways, he was interviewing Carlos Mencia the other day.
Oh,
a while back, right? And yeah, for sure. And he was fucking telling him that he was a fucking that he was copying jokes from
he was a hack, he's a joke thief.
You know what I'm saying? That he's a joke thief and shit. Yeah. And he was bringing up how Joe Rogan was calling him out on all that shit, right? And Joe Rogan was like, nah, man, like, you guys got to understand that all these jokes that you guys keep fucking telling me that I stole, I've did them before they fucking ever fucking said those jokes, and I have fucking proof. If you want to fucking say that I fucking stole all these jokes, bring it up. Bring me receipts and show me that I fucking actually stole them, right? And then he's like, this is what he says. Obviously, I gotta stop. When I first started stand-up comedy, I obviously had influences. You know, there was people that would influence his style of comic. You know,
and we're all humans, so we're all
exactly. You know, obviously, like me as a barber, I have these people that I actually learned from at the beginning of my career and shit. And you know, I always thank them and I always look and I always shout them out and everything, but. Do you have a? And I don't mean to compare you to Carlos Mencia either.
No.
But do you have influences in the comedy world?
Well, I definitely do. Something that you always want to do is not necessarily emulate anybody, but you know, the hardest thing and the comics that are like, I don't like watching anybody because I don't want it to affect me. I don't mean to be, you know, everybody's different, but maybe in my mind, they're not as confident about who they are for them to be able to watch and learn the things that are done right. You know, you can learn how to add a sound effect or add a tag or you know, change from one subject to another in a way without doing it like another dude. But you can, you know, like
say what they're saying.
And as you guys as artists and professionals, you know, guys, there's techniques to do things, right? Yeah. Boom. Maybe you guys, the way you guys do it is maybe a little bit different because of your physical twitchiness or whatever the shit. But if you get the same result that, you know, the general public gets, it is what it is.
It's like when you're writing an essay, like you can't copy word for word, but you could say it in your way, and it won't be plagiarism. You know.
Look, the big key thing is, and I'll add to that Carlos Mencia thing. There's a thing called parallel thinking, which is totally, absolutely normal.
Normal, yeah.
Yeah, and it's because as humans, you know,
That's our fucking brain is fucking.
We're all gonna come up and maybe the same subject, just like, you know, talking about your bad relationships or not having a dad, you know, or you know, fucking drugs, you know, and sometimes things will line up. But the key thing is when you're saying words verbatim, word for word, that's when you're stealing a joke, or when you're stealing the core of a joke and it's just too similar, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but you're always gonna know how to say it in your own words. When it comes to Carlos Mencia, he did the worst that he got caught was when, and it's the worst example, but it's the best example where he got caught. And one of his specials before everything blew up on him being a joke thief, he actually stole a joke from one of the most notorious now comedians, which is Bill Cosby. You know, and one of his specials, he did a bit about a football, and
I see that one.
Yeah, that's the one that he got where everything kind of got the heat on. Bill Burr also accused him of stealing a joke. You know, like, but he's also been accused of stealing jokes from comics that died.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you know, like, even George Lopez, like 7-8 years ago, I don't know if the video's still up, but literally almost, you know, grabbed him by the throat and stuff like that, you know. And as a comedian, look, you know, he can say whatever he wants, and I'll tell you, people will still go see him.
Yeah.
People will still go see him.
I used to love that motherfucker back in the day.
Oh, I did too.
When Mencia's Way was on TV.
Mind of Mencia.
Mind of Mencia. There you go.
But see, the biggest irritation from Ned Holness, his real name is that he isn't really even Latino. He's like half Norwegian and then half Costa Rican or something, you know. And the irritation past him stealing jokes is the, you know, maybe how does it called, the cultural, you know, like, you know, jacking,
the
you
claiming
know?
of fucking,
the not even necessarily justification. So that's, and as a comedian, that's kind of where it comes from us, and I, you know, that's where just explaining for myself. Like I said, it's crazy because he'll still pack out, you know, and even if you were to talk to a regular comedy fan that isn't a comedian, they probably don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about the drama, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
And if he's cool with that, that's cool, you know? On the same respect, I really don't give a fuck about the comics that hate me, but I would hate to be hated for jacking shit and not doing stuff on my own.
Yeah,
right?
original shit.
Yeah, so now let me answer your original question. There's many comics that I learned stuff. I've always wanted to be kind of like, not in that grade of amazement like Bruce Lee, but in the sense of master of many, you know.
I fucking love Bruce
Lee. You know, there's there's punchlines, there's imitations, there's storytelling, you know, there's crowd work, you know, there's music, you know. So there's many, you know, what's it called, disciplines of the comedy that you mix in. And just like, you know, if you're writing a song or you're putting on a play or you're putting on a show, right, or you're fighting, you know, it's like, you know, and it's about, like magic, the prestige, right? The surprise. So if you use all those different techniques and you can master how to shape, oh, this joke should be like this, right? This joke should be like this. And then you put it together, and that takes time. You know, sometimes going on stage because you might say it this way, you might not say it the right way, you know? And eventually after so many times that you try it a certain way, it gets streamlined, right? To fit. Now, here's another monkey wrench in there. What audience are you saying it for? You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's a clean audience, sometimes, you know, it's a PG-13 audience, you know, but, you know, digressing to the point, man, there's so many comics that I learned from, so many things. So, you know, you guys can already imagine some. Definitely, obviously, Dave Chappelle, there's nobody to compare. Like, I always watch an amazement the way he can bring in subjects in such a casual, powerful way, and his material really can't change the way people think. You know, like, for me, that's the type of comedy I want to do. I love making fucking people laugh, man. I love the power of it. But man, if I could do that type of comedy where I'm doing something funny, but it is going at something meaningful shit. Boom, you know? Chris Rock around that. I love Bill Burr. I love Jim Jeffries. I mad respect Fluffy because of the things that he does. He doesn't do life-changing comedy, but I respect the work he's done, just like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's getting into that space where he's saying more meaningful material too. But he's a great performer. He works his ass off, you know, and you know
he does.
And especially after that whole thing with the Oscars, you know, it really humbled him, you know, to be able to get in the level with people and apologize about shit that, you know, like, not like he didn't need to, you know, because he did it so long ago, but it definitely it shows
That was some bullshit.
You know, like it definitely is bullshit just because it's kind of unfair. But that's what made the whole situation even better. That he was like, you know what, I understand. Yeah, you know, he understood the angle and the rage from what the people that were bothered about it, and he put an angle to it to where like, look, man, that's how it was. I don't condone that. I definitely don't support violence against gays or anything like that because, you know, that was the main point, you know, like.
And that was so fucking long ago, too.
10 years ago, dude. 2010, man.
So, so the people that know about it.
Yeah, okay. So 2010, he did this tweet about him. He would he slap his son or beat up his son if, you know, he found out he was gay or something, you know? So and then the Oscars came and he was just like
somebody brought it up. Somebody like brought it back up and then it fucking blew up, especially nowadays with the cancel culture.
Somebody who was like a kid when he did that bit.
Dude, probably. And that's the thing about the internet, you know? But I think, you know, conflict always brings growth when you can get through it. You know, just like when you fight brothers, you know, anybody that you have a disagreement.
Yeah.
And if you could come to an agreement, you know, where it's not about the ego, it's about what the right thing is. I think he did the right thing.
Definitely.
Right?
All the way.
Because that's why he has a career now and he's still thriving. So, aside from Kevin Hart, I love Felipe Esparza. He is a fucking super cool dude. You know, if you guys don't or haven't checked out on him, he's fucking really funny. I wouldn't say he's doing like life-changing shit, but he hits on the core of all the paisa shit, you know?
Yeah.
Very funny. And then last but not least, you know, one of my favorites is Bill Hicks. So you guys might not know, he died in 95. His comedy was very racy. He always went after, you know, like really heavy topics in the 90s. In fact, he had beef with Dave Letterman because his last set, they didn't put it up on the air because it was too racy because he hit on some shit. But yeah, my comedy, I have a few jokes that will teach you. I always say that, you know, like, hey, you know, like if good comedy, and that's actually what Bill Hicks said, good comedy teaches you something, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't just make you laugh, it teaches you something and it makes you laugh. So yeah, man, but I have a bunch of silly, stupid shit, you know? I have one-liners, I have stories.
The self-inflicting comedy is my favorite, like how Bobby Lee is like. Bobby.
Oh yeah.
Well, hey,
he's so like it's fucking hilarious.
I think maybe there's only one comic that I know that he's like all about himself and that he's funny, and it's Daniel Tosh, you know, and it's not so much that he talks so much about himself, but his persona is really confident,
strong,
you know, and he's dark, you know what I mean,
super dark,
and he lands it, and he's funny, dude. I mean, there's a lot of cats. Anthony Jeselnik wants to be like him, not there, but he can land dark comedy too, you know, from the roast. But yeah, no, self-deprecating comedy, that's how you connect with people, you know, especially if it's like, I came early, you came early. Oh, okay, cool. Now let's talk about this shit. What did it feel like? You know what I mean? You showed up with no money, you know, I don't know, whatever. So, and that's where the thread is. People feel more comfortable when you're up there, you know, humanizing yourself, and the core and the key to good comedy is, being relative. You know, the subject is relative to the people you're telling comedy to, and that's it. I mean, if anything, that's kind of what I try and do every show. It's not always the same, you know, like reading the room is always very important, you know, being able to be present. The times that I have my agenda, right? We're like, okay, well, I have these jokes. I don't get to headline that much, so I want to go through these jokes and shit. You know, it doesn't work as well when I kind of just like, I'm there, you know, like you gotta understand, like I'm not filming my Netflix special right now. I'm here to do 30 minutes of good time comedy with the people that are here. And if I don't force it, if I listen and react, and because I mean, I have a luxury because I have a bunch of jokes, you know. There's jokes that sometimes I don't say years at a time, but it'll pop up for the right reference.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
You know, just having them loaded up.
I was gonna ask you like how it is that you prepare yourself for like a night, right? To like, how do you prepare your jokes? But you kind of answered it in a way. You read the audience and all that shit, and then you obviously know ahead of time what type of audience you're gonna have, you know.
So when I do prepare before, I used to always just want to be off the cuff and shit, but I I can't, especially because sometimes I get a little tipsy or whatever, or I get high and shit. So to be natural, definitely when I'm going into a venue. So if I know it's gonna be a PG-13 or a clean audience, I pull out my flashcards with all my clean jokes, and I go over them, and then I'll listen to the sets that I've done that were successful with the clean sets, you know. So then I get into that vibe, I get into that rhythm, boom, boom, and I listen to, especially if I already did that venue before.
That shit must be hard.
It's only hard when you didn't do that good the previous time.
Well, I'm pretty sure it helps that you have all that fucking experience.
Well, one thing that you know, even through all this before, I used to coach. I used to coach flag football. I used to coach little league and soccer. And then when I used to coach flag football, we went citywide here in San Diego. You know, from San Isidro, we went citywide 4 or 5 years in a row. Like I'm super maniacal about, you know, preparing and then plays and stuff, you know, and it works out because when you're doing a play, right, and you start in one formation, you know, you do this play, but then what you want to do is you're setting up to be able to fake them out, right? And that's kind of what jokes are, you know, when you think you're going to go this way, but then you go this way, you know?
Yeah.
So the element of surprise always works
so
out.
that's how I was able to translate my coaching to that, and so now that's how I kind of implement that into myself, you know. I do have, like, I used to have the play cards. Now I have my jokes, you know. I have them color coded when they're like blue jokes, super fucking blue jokes, or clean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, if I'm doing, you know, like a clean, if I'm doing a dog friendly venue, I'm gonna pull out all the dog jokes, you know what I mean? If it's gonna be like a 40 something, I'm gonna pull out all the cleaner, mom, dad, you know, jokes, you know. But that's generally how I do, and if I just kind of go through them and I listen up, you know, the reference is up in space, right? So I can still go into a room and read it, right? But then maybe if I'm like, okay, after I watch a couple of sets, you know, they're more conservative. All right, minus this joke. Or if I'm like, oh, they laughed at a Coke joke. They laughed at it. All right, boom, I pull out the Coke jokes, you know. But yeah, that's how I prepare. I mean, I don't know how other people do, but it's worked for me, and you know, like it's been consistent. I'm still trying to streamline that even more down to a T, but right now it helps because at least I don't feel like, you know, I feel the work is worth it, but it's not like not fun work, because that would kind of like suck. And sometimes it will feel like that, but you know, like I said, when you're on the other side and you're like, you know what, all this preparedness, going through the cards and listening to my sets, good job, Benji. You need to do that next time too. That's how it works.
Right.
Yeah. You know what's something that I've been noticing lately, bro? Like, we were actually talking about this, I think yesterday or the first day you got here from Vegas. How like back in the day we worked so hard. When I say we, I mean like the people work so hard for like media, TV to accept like darker jokes and to be able to get away with saying crazy shit on TV, or comedians to be able to say, you know,
pretty much whatever they want.
You know, exactly, say whatever they want. And then we work so hard to get there to now fucking cancel culture just fucking come out of nowhere, and then boom, canceling everybody, bro. You know, like, and I feel like right now there's been comedians popping up out of nowhere that are starting to come back with the dark jokes and fucking
being acceptable.
Exactly, you know, just being able to say whatever the fuck they want, you know?
Yeah, it's because laughter like brings people together.
Definitely, all the way.
And then think about it from what you just said. It's like, imagine if they played a new show that was like Married with Children.
I remember that was,
you know,
like,
that was mind blowing.
That show would
not
get
thrive.
canceled.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
first episode, you know,
it will probably get canceled.
You know,
or they would have to throw that bitch on a fucking network that's like, I don't give a fuck what you say, I'm still gonna play these
motherfuckers.
Like even now they'll show it from like 4 a.m. to like 6 a.m. on a certain channel. You know,
people crave the things that they will get canceled for because they can't do it themselves.
I do. I fucking crave that shit.
That's what
but
I'm saying. If you know you can't do it, so when somebody else does it, you're like, damn, like that fool did it. Like that fool's like, you know, you're like, he actually did that shit. And it makes it even not even just funnier, but that he has the balls to do it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, he's gonna get canceled. He's gonna cancel. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what everybody wants. In a way, they want to hear that shit. And
how do you? It's because like the cancel culture, like they obviously it's the people that are more vocal about the stuff that they hate, but then like the people that like enjoy the things that they're hearing, like they're not really too concerned about it because it's like, oh,
it's like whatever.
That's the way I think.
You know why
like,
it's probably,
whatever.
You know
but
why?
if someone hears that something that they don't like, they're more aggressive towards it.
But you know why?
You know?
You know what's crazy though? That the people that are actually the people that the joke is about, they don't even give a fuck about the joke. The cancel culture are the people that have nothing to do with the fucking joke, and they're over here arguing about that.
Remember
and it's always a person that has nothing to do with whatever they want to cancel.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
It's like the Speedy Gonzalez, the fluffy one that we're watching.
Exactly.
Like, people want to.
I'll say this.
I'm proud of that shit.
From where I think you guys are gonna agree with me. Way too many people, and you hit on it. First of all, way too many people are too sensitive. Okay, and where there's on top of that, there's too many people that are sensitive for shit that isn't even about them. You know,
exactly.
They want to feel part of it. They want to feel the outrage and the righteousness, and they'll see something coming out of the corner of their eye, and their perception does not, coincide to what they think, and they don't bother to look into it, and they're gonna go after it. Is there a cure for it? No. The only thing, and look, I've said a bunch of crazy shit, but the one thing I'll never really do is try and put people down, and I think it's about tact. I mean, when you're doing it to be opinionated and you stand on a harsh side, like that's why I don't really talk about politics. I make fun of politics, but I don't really have a stance in it other than, fuck these lying people, the people that take advantage of, that they steal, that they don't represent the people that they're supposed to do. That's where I stand for, whether they're on this side or that side. Fuck Trump, because he's an asshole, not because he's a Republican, but the other stuff in between, maybe in some cases, some people should be told, hey, fool, you shouldn't be saying that stupid shit, you shouldn't. But right now, just from the scope of what I've seen, there's just too many things that people are too oversensitive about. And how do I avoid many of those things? Is, first of all, I know I'm not a dick. I'm not an asshole. I'm not a bully. I'm not a thief. I'm not a machista. But when I have to say something, I have a justified. And my passion isn't like aggressive.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm thinking is like shouldn't and can't are two different things. So if you you shouldn't say anything, that doesn't mean you can't. You know what I mean? And that's what we're supposed. What America is supposed to be like.
Yeah, I mean,
based upon is.
Yeah,
I think. Right? I think everyone should fucking just stay off their phones.
Social media.
Everyone should stay off their phones.
Going crazy.
And then worry about the people that live under your roof.
Stop recording shit.
Yeah, just live. Just go.
Especially when you're drunk or you're coked out.
Nothing else matters. Besides what's
bro, because I've done some of the worst shit. Like when I'm fucking fucked up and
you're funny, bro. You say some funny shit.
No, yeah, but sometimes I guess I sometimes I worry like, fuck. I remember I said that. What if I one day fucking. What if this shit one day fucking cracks off and then
imagine all the shit that you don't remember.
Exactly.
Like,
what if someone uses that shit against me one day? What if fucking off the clipper cracks off to the point where we're like fucking.
Pretty sure. Remember we were having that one talk and it was like a bit of us talking shit about some some sensitive.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, we need to stop because what happens with our 1000th episode and
we're
gonna get
but at the same time it's like I don't know how do you deal with the fucking cancel culture?
All right, so I said shouldn't and can't is different.
How do I deal? So by the way,
do whatever you want.
I'm definitely part of some sort of cancel culture because like there's a lot of comics here in San Diego that don't want to work with me and. I don't even know what the reasons are.
Like as in you're canceled yourself, or like
no,
as
they
not
canceled.
Not that you're canceled, but they're
they cancel me from their shit.
They just don't want to work with them.
They won't put me on their shows, and blah blah blah, whatever.
But then again, you're thriving more than they are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. When I have shit going on, I don't care whatever they got.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But I'll tell you, I definitely have done that before, where I've gone really fucked up and stupid, and then sent these in, and I send a fucking message, and then the next day I wake up, and I'm like, what the fuck, and I'm like, oh,
unsend.
Okay, so don't copy this, all right? Don't you dare copy this. But this is the truth from my heart. My response is, I'm like, hey, my bad. I was really fucked up. Whatever I sent to you, it's got nothing to do with you. It's me. I have my issues. I just happen to be on the phone. It has nothing to do with you. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. Most of the time, people are like, oh, shit, okay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, because like, and it could be paragraphs of shit. And most of the time, the only time I send people shit like that is the people that I thought, and this is what, sidebar, I've learned this is the power against that. Now, in the last couple of years, I've really learned and grinding the fact that no matter what I do, nobody owes me shit. You know what I mean? Nobody owes me shit.
Yeah.
And I remind myself that even if people do, might, and should reciprocate, nope, nobody owes me shit. It avoids me from being senties and from doing those type of messages. But when I used to get all like, well, fuck you, I hooked you up, and then look at it, and the next morning I'm like, hey, my bad. It was, but it was the honesty about understanding that
I got a couple homies like that. That's crazy.
it really was. It really is about me, and I'm like, look, man, it really had. Even though it probably did have to do a little bit with them, the fact that they
it had 100%
neglected me, but
100% had to do with that.
To save face and to just eliminate it as much and not give them any more fuel for the fires. Like, hey, my bad.
Yeah,
and that's it. And most of the time, fortunately, the main thing that came out of me initially in that drunken, blacked out stage, it's a time to go fuck themselves, so I don't talk to them. They don't talk to me again, and it works. Except they can't say that I just kind of went off of them. They have to fucking mention the fact that I apologized and I'm an idiot and I admit it and my bad.
How about on stage?
Man, I don't go off on stage a lot. The only time I have gone off on stage is when comics think they can insult me or riff on me when we're not friends and they're on my stage. That's the only, and I've turned off mics.
That's actually happened?
Yeah, a couple of times.
So comic heckling then.
Well, it's like I host or I have them on the show, and then they try and like riff and talk shit about me or something. And look, I have friends that they're like, Benji's a fucking drunk. Benji, your coke sucks. But we're friends. You know what I mean? They're friends. They can make fun of shit. So it's code.
It's code.
And when, especially if I don't know these cats, and then the shit that they're saying, you can always. We're not robots. We have a discernment, and we can sense the tone. Exactly. When people and the vibe. So when people are trying to shit on you on your stage, when you're giving them the audience and you put on the show, you promoted the show, you gave them an opportunity. That's when I've lost my shit.
You know who he's talking about. Hey, you know who you are.
All 15 of you. Fuck you,
assholes.
It's only been a couple, but yeah, I that's one thing I've tried to, and I've actually lost a venue one time before because that fool was like bigger than me. This big black dude. By the way, that dude, he was interviewed by the FBI after the January 6th insurrection, and this fool was actually messaging me like, can you believe this like trying to get me to republicanize this shit, and this fool was the one that went on my stage. Yeah, dude, it was insane, and I lost the venue because I talked shit to him, and then after I forgave him and we were doing the end of the show shot, I was letting it go. He was like, "Oh, that better be the last time you heckle me when I'm on stage." And this is after my show, and that's when I was like, and I was like, and dude, he's big. But I'm that stupid for. I don't care. I'll stand up to anybody, and if I've gotten spit in the face by a bunch of taller, bigger, Latinos, black dudes, and white dudes because they don't punch me. They'll spit you in the face. Like what does that tell you? But that's what happened that time, and yeah, I mean, I always love. Or rather be the cool, chill dude that just like, okay, whatever, pendejo. But that time, it really got me, dude. It was like, and I wasn't even drunk. I was like on nothing, And yeah, dude, like one thing would be like, fuck you, fool, But no, dude, I was just pissed, like, hey, fuck you, dog. Like, what the fuck? But anyways.
That's when they get the best of you, dog.
Yeah. No, I wish I would have been funny. I wish I didn't even bring up the fact that he was in the insurrection, or else I would have won the room right there. I'm like, hey, fool, weren't you running down on January 6th with that, buffalo head dress, fucking white dude?
Oh, hell nah.
Dude, he was, dude. That was the funniest part, dude. And anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of competition here in San Diego where you have to like I don't want to say it's beef, but there's just a lot of competition where
it's just competition. That's
and you have to go through shit like that. Just like myself, bro. I mean, there's so many fucking barbers out here.
Yeah.
The industry is so fucking saturated here in San Diego that every now and then you get fucking.
You hear some shit.
Yeah, and the fucked up part is that most of the time it's fucking people instigating shit, and it's not even
or the one closest to you type shit.
Yeah, and it's fucked up. But hey, at the end of the day, you gotta fucking brush it off, and what, like you said earlier, what you are, you know what the fuck you do, And fuck everybody. At the end of the day, is what makes you happy and what fucking, you know, you want to do your job right. You want to make everybody laugh. You want to make everybody have a good time, and that's the most important thing here, I think, as in on your side of the industry and on our side of the industry, you know, and
any business.
for sure.
It's always a muscle to be able to ignore all that shit on the side.
Yeah,
you know, like you said, there's competition. Yeah. But, you know, I'm going to take that from all the great athletes, you know, Jordan, Kobe, and everybody's like, the only competition is yourself. You know, one. The only real competition is like, if you, and it helps me because it's like, you know what, like all these shows, again, they don't book me, fuck it, I have a show that night, you know, you know, so if and they might have a show in a Skyrise in downtown, but I have my show over here, you know what, I'm going to throw the best fuck, because and it's hopefully, or not hopefully, there's been a lot of times when you hear other people have shows somewhere, but the show suck. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, you know what? As long as I do my show the best I can, I don't give a fuck what they're doing. I don't, you know, how many people they get there. As long as my people, my comics, the audience, and the venue have a good time, I don't give a fuck. Because I'm, you know, like, how fucking stupid would it be for me trying to sit there and, you know, put our shows side by side when, you know, like, it's just not.
You know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah. If I have a good time and I'm doing a good time, again, it's a muscle, especially now with the social media and shit, because you see the pictures with everybody. But that's why, like, get off your fucking phones. I try to stay off my phone as much as I can unless I need to, you know, promote this shit and post shit. I try not to spend too much time dwelling on stuff because, you know, I could be doing something else that isn't gonna, you know, trigger me on something human and make me feel like shit. I'd rather just, you know, stay focused and work on the next thing.
Do most of your jokes that you come up with, are they mainly like stuff that you've gone through, you know, through life, or how do you come up with your jokes? It's
a combination. You know, the best jokes are the ones that are based on real life and experience, because there's some shit that you just can't write.
Yeah.
The art to the craft is, there's those jokes, but making them better when you retell them, you know, with the details, if you're going to do a voice, if you're going to do a sound, if you're going to set up the stage, you know what I mean?
That's hard.
You know what I mean? It's just making anything better, you know, just like you can buy a 2022, you know, what, Mustang GT, whatever the shit, right? There's still aftermarket stuff you can add on to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just making it better and better. So, I mean, it just, you know, the end to anything is when you think it's done. And when it comes to some jokes, sometimes something happens and then, oh shit, that's another one. That's another bit. You know, I have this bit that is the white words, right? That I'm like, okay, I learned English. ESL is my second language. These are my white words. There's English and then there's white words. So then I do words like potential, right? Monogamy, contraception, you know? And then later on I hear other words like vision board, you know what I mean? Or, you know, vasectomy or life insurance, you know what I mean? And I add them and I rotate them and shit, you know? And that just adds to the jokes. So, you know, and then sometimes I just get inspired. I'm fucking writing something or I hear something, you know, and I get some jokes. So, one of the jokes that just popped up, and some of these I'll write down when I'm fucking faded, and then I'll look through them later, and that's how they're more one-liners because they're not related to shit. So like one that I did, I was like, I used to be a workaholic, but I got fired for drinking on the job. You know what I mean? That was just out of fucking thinking about drinking and shit, and I was like, okay, well, it's a fucking drinking joke. Or I grew up thinking that writing in cursive was a waste of time, but it actually makes suicide letters look really nice.
Oh, shit.
Dark humor, you know what I mean? And then this just comes out, you know, left and right, you know? So, and then that's where, you know, if I'm like, oh, yeah, and I'll plug it in, you know, especially when it's a beat or when I'm talking about something sad. So for me, that's kind of how it is. It's a combination. I'm always working on, especially the jokes that are always on the top, where it's like the white words bit. Anytime I talk to a white person and then they say something fucking like wherewithal and shit, or I can, you know, like, you know,
like,
what the fuck is this? If it makes references to it, like Kegels, you know, like, oh, it's a Kegel. You tell a Mexican chick Kegel, they don't know what a fucking Kegel is. I'm like, oh, you know, cuando se echa un pedo la panocha, they're like, ¿qué es eso? Pussy fart, you know what I mean?
You say pussy fart, they're like, sí.
So, you know, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like for me, it's a combination. I do like to
We're
sit
so
down.
good at it.
And as you heard, like in some preparation, I have those flashcards and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I do, the rotation. I know when it's kind of like a one-liner, or a one-liner with a tag, which is additional punch, and then there's the stories, which have, the story and what details within the story that have laughs that get to an ultimate punchline,
Yeah.
So like I said, we're trying to do, and then within all those, it's either a reenactment, right? When I'm imitating somebody or I'm doing voices, I haven't mastered the music yet. I'm working on it because I have some music bits that I want to do, but that's probably next. But I love doing it. I love because I didn't do it before. I now, if I'm like falling asleep and something stupid comes up, I'll get up and I'll write it down,
Yeah.
And if I don't have paper, I open up my draft on my email, and I have a tab that just says new jokes, new material, and then I just write that motherfucker in, with misspellings and everything.
So talking about that, like, see, it's like me, like I write like raps and stuff or like whatever, any lyrics.
He's a rapper.
For you, like during the whole day, are you just thinking about jokes?
I'll be right back.
Well, see, sometimes the best part is that they come to you,
right? Right?
Like you get inspired with lyrics, maybe something, and it combines with your knowledge, and then the right words with the right, concept guts in.
Yeah, of course.
For me, like, I can't say I'm always looking for it, but it sometimes inspiration comes out of nowhere because that muscle, and I've been doing it. Like, remember, like I said, adding the little tidbits to a story, telling it better. Yeah. That's kind of where, especially if you see something funny,
of course.
Are you always like writing things down? Or like, are you good with like mental notes and stuff?
No, I can't do mental notes. Fuck no. I that's why I said I'm proud of myself.
Fuck no.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself.
I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago.
Dude, I can tell you, it's been 200-300 times when I'm like, yeah, I'll write it down, and then I'm like trying to write it down, and it's less than 2-3 minutes later, and I'm like, how the fuck did I think about that shit? I should have written it down that moment. And then when I write down those bits, I try and be as detailed as possible because that's what's gonna get me to the chord when it came up in my brain, But like if you're like that, like I recommend that whenever you get that flash of brilliance, that flash of funny, that flash of genius that you got, pause and write it down, man, because you're gonna hate yourself. Not everybody get those.
I trip out when I'll think of something and I'm like, fuck. The next day I'm like, or I do write it down, but I forgot how I said it. So I'll write it down a certain way.
You
write
down
like,
like the actual like flow.
You try to write down like keywords and like I'll remember this, and then
No,
He's saying like he'll actually write the lyric down, but he won't know if he said it like or like that's what you're saying.
I record it on voice memo.
Oh yeah,
voice memo everything now. So I'm like, I'll say this thing.
I should probably do that.
And so the next day, I'm like, I was drunk when I said this, and I listened to it. I'm like, oh shit, this sounds dope. But there's times I'll write it down.
It's a better idea.
No, but I'm writing shit down.
He sounds sick as fuck, but he does.
I wrote shit down, go to the studio, say it, and I'm like, what the fuck? This sounds whack. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, I think, especially for music, that definitely works way better. I mean, I think I'm gonna try that. I don't even know if I have that recording app, but I'm just so used to writing the details because I'll say like, like the key sometimes, at least with some of the shit that I come up, it's verbatim on how you say it, right?
Yeah.
It comes out right the first time, and that's what you're trying to capture. So I've gotten really good at like, I'll write the phrase, and then in parentheses, I'll put either little hashtags or like in this voice or
exactly. That's
right,
what I'm
to try
saying,
like
that.
Yeah, but I think with you, getting the voice, because hearing it how you say it, because especially with us too, obviously, like the way you say it or the way you think of it, like you're thinking of stupid shit, but if you say it if you're angry, it's gonna be it's cancel culture.
Yeah, for sure.
You can say something funny, but if you don't say it funny, it's not gonna be funny.
No, for sure. Or it's like when like sometimes I listen to, I love watching fucking comedy, Mexican comedy on YouTube. Like I fucking love Mexican comedy. And
Spanish, you mean, or Mexican?
Well,
Pues hay comediantes mexicanos. So,
Spanish.
Well,
Spanish.
Polo.
Yeah, for sure. Spanish comedy, like me, I like to watch Guerra de Chistes, So
talk about stuff that's in Mexican culture. And stuff
well, they're in Mexico. They're all Mexicans.
Yeah, okay,
they're all Mexican. So it is Mexican comedy.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
So these fools will say a joke and it's fucking hilarious, bro. I'm like, fuck yeah, fool, I got a fucking dope ass joke to go to the barbershop tomorrow. And I get here and I'm like, you know, I'm like,
saying you're like,
fuck. And then I'm like, I got a funny ass joke, and I'm like,
you bombed it.
And then Manny for sure knows, because I'll be like fucking saying that. I'll be like, oh fuck, I didn't say it right.
I'll laugh though.
I won't. I don't say it right. And I'm like, fucking
everybody
idiot.
like the puzzle together, like,
Everybody's looking at me like, damn, bitch, slapper this way. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, bro? And I'm like, fuck. So I'll just tell him like, you know what? Hold on, let me pull it up on YouTube. And then there it is.
One thing I pride myself on, because I understand that aspect of it, you know, like I remember retelling, you know, Chistes de Pepito and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
And getting the laugh if you remember how to say that fucking joke right. So one thing that I love about some of my jokes is they're very easy. In fact, in times I'm like, hey, these are some jokes you can tell your friends.
Yeah.
And they're easy to remember, you know. One of the favorite ones that I do, everybody always remembers this one because it's really, really easy. You know, it's a tattoo joke, and I'm like, hey, I love tattoos, you know, blah, blah, blah. But that's why I love ladies with tattoos. They're so hot, blah, you know. And then any ladies with tattoos? No, okay. Well, my favorite tattoo is a tramp stamp. Any ladies with tattoos? All right. And then the punchline is, it's because you guys know if a lady has a tramp stamp, she probably also has food stamps, right? Boom. You know, I said it the longer way, but if you're just like, hey, you know why I like ladies with tattoos?
We left.
Yeah.
It's a bullseye. That's why.
Boom.
Yeah.
So
there's some funny shit you told me though. Like, it might even be a joke, but to me it was funny. The whole thing about Mexicans and the free of life shit. That shit cracked me up for at least like 10 minutes. Bro.
I mean, like just like
for somebody that's not Mexican and doesn't know that, you know.
Just like he said though, like me, I consider myself a funny ass motherfucker. Like,
fucking hilarious.
I'm hilarious. Yeah, I consider myself funny, right? But see, I'm funny because of see, like. I can be funny on a daily life, like as I'm living. Like I'll be going through some shit and I'll say some dumb shit because I'm going through it in the moment. But if you ask me to tell me, hey, tell us a joke and entertain us, I'll be like,
see, that's different.
You know, but like if you're my friend and you watch me live my daily life, you're gonna be like, damn, this motherfucker. I even make myself laugh.
You literally have
like,
a comedy show while you're cutting
exactly,
hair.
You know, like I'm fucking constantly, just even the fact that I have like mild Tourette's, you know, like I'm fucking constantly like just fucking screaming shit, you know, like, you know, so
there's a lot of funny people, bro, in the world, you know, and that's why people are like, hey, people tell me I'm funny.
Yeah.
I'm always like, give it a shot. Write down the shit that you make people laugh with, okay?
Yeah.
And you know, like whether it was a story or something you said and people are like, what the fuck, you know? Write it, you know, 3 minutes, you write. So that's why I'm like, anytime anybody tells me that, I'm always like, do it. Because one of two things is going to happen, okay? One, fuck yeah, they're going to love it. They're going to stick to it and we have another good comedian. Or two, they're going to be like, fuck, that's hard. But I love comedy and they're going to support it and appreciate it even more. You know, so for me, it's a win-win. You know, like, yeah. And that's why I'm like, I always tell them, hey, well, we have open mics. Come and do it. Ask me questions.
You're right, though. Like, being funny is different from being a comic.
Exactly, you know?
It's like being like, okay, you can sing good, but can you perform? You
exactly.
You can rap good, but can you make music?
Like the other day, bro, when we were here, bro, and like fucking, you know, no fucking offense to anybody, bro.
You have to throw
no fucking no offense. Right. No offense to fucking.
Get ready to bleep this, everybody.
There's a fucking disclaimer right here. The other day we were talking about kids with Down syndrome, you know, because our friend he used to take care of kids with Down syndrome, and then I brought it up that I went to that I know a couple that got married and they're both Down syndrome. You know what I'm saying? And then my friend was like, oh, like how our friend, he's a fucking funny ass dude, and he was like, so see, I'm gonna say it wrong, you know, I'm gonna say it wrong because it's not in the moment. You already did the disclaimer,
dog. You did the disclaimer.
No, it's not even that though. But like, it was in the moment, you know. But I don't give a fuck about what I'm gonna say. It's more of like in the moment, it was so natural and we all laughed, you know. But right now, I'm gonna say it, it's probably not gonna be as funny. But that fool was like, hey, so how was it when everybody said, like, when everybody saw you and you were the only like normal one? Like everybody was like, how do you keep your face so normal, you know, like, or like, and they were like, how do you keep your tongue inside your mouth? And like
at the wedding,
you know, since I was the only one that was like normal, he said, he was like, hey, so what, since it was a fucking Down syndrome wedding, were you the only normal one there? I was like, no, fool, like everybody was not normal, but like we're all normal, you know, but they were the ones that had Down syndrome, you know. But he thought of it like, oh, everybody that was all the guests had Down syndrome, and I was the only normal one.
Yeah,
It was a fucking funny ass thing.
Making fun of you.
Yeah, he was kind of making fun of me, you know, but it was so fucking hilarious because everybody laughed. Even our customers were like cracking up so much that they couldn't even like.
This is gonna help a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're talking about the movie The Ringer.
Okay, right. Oh, with Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah. So it's like imagine like attending a wedding, like being in the ring, like being the solo person inside a wedding. That's
No, you don't have.
Well,
yeah.
If he said it with innocence, if he said it innocently and with wonder, without trying to sound like he was making it like, well,
bro, but it was
wait. Let me see if I can nail it. Well, if you were the only normal one, then I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
He was really curious about that,
bro. But the way he said it, he was like, oh, was everybody asking you like, how do you keep your tongue inside your mouth? Fool, we were cracking up so fucking bad, and you know that shit was just so fucking funny.
He has a bunch of friends that have Down syndrome.
Yeah, you know, and it was hilarious because it was just so fucking funny. Like well,
if you have the Down syndrome card, you can use that. I have a black card.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like I have a Mexican card.
Block me.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a white person with a job card, so I can make fun of my white friends.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a couple.
My white friends with credit. Anyways.
Yeah, man, but you know, like it's just I don't know. It's so funny to me, like how, for example, I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy, you know.
I want to go this week since I'm here in San Diego. I want to go to a show. Is there anything popping up this week?
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna want to go, fool. You said you were gonna go fishing with us, and you're not
I want to
going.
take this chick out this week, you know. So I kind of want to.
Comedy might be a good.
Do you have any shows coming up this weekend?
Well, yeah, I have tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is not in San Diego. Thursday and Friday are in Spanish. Yeah, Saturday actually. Saturday. It's a no cover show in Ocean Beach, and it's also like a Halloween thing because it's Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
So that one, and then Sunday it's a comedy contest. It's a semifinal for a contest that we run. But that one's in Vista. It's also no cover, but it's a bunch of good comics, and I'm hosting that one. So
yeah, I think
I'll send you details on that one.
I'll go Saturday. I want to go do something Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
That's what you said about fishing, and all of a sudden you're not going.
Oh, but when I want to go fishing, you pull out you're Filipino, you're good at fishing.
I didn't say that, fucker. You did. What the fuck? You said that shit.
That's how you
are
got
good,
invited.
though. But you are good. Last time we went fishing, you caught like what? Fucking 5 fishes? I caught none.
Damn.
Yeah, fuck.
It was
at the fucking pier, so you know he was pro there.
You must have been bad. I mean, a lot of those fish are so bad they want to jump out of that water. They're like, save me!
Imagine how bad it was for me, dog. I didn't get
poop
one.
Water, get me out of this.
Hey,
you cook that fish, it even smells different.
Really?
Remember?
I don't know. I've cooked fish from.
What's it called? I was cooking it the other day at the shop. Remember when he?
That's
this
true.
Fool was like, hey, I brought fish. We thought he was like, we're gonna make fish tacos. I was like, oh, for sure. I thought it was gonna be deep fried. This fool brought out the sardines, put them with the head and everything. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Fuck. I think you cheated on that one, fool.
Hey, right before we get done, dog, because we're already at an hour 21 minutes. It went so fucking fast, dog.
Super fast.
What's up, dog? Can you give us a couple jokes?
Okay.
Give us your some good jokes. Make us laugh.
I'm gonna give you
a bit. Give us a 5-minute bit.
5-minute bit.
5-minute bit. All right. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna give you some of my favorites.
I just dropped the fake ring.
That usually work. Okay,
that was a cock ring.
Not the cock ring. Damn.
Hey, that shit sounded like you got it on the wish out for. That shit sounds hollow. That shit is copper. Look at your green finger.
It's a tattoo.
They lied to you for. I got it tattooed. All right, I'll tell you some of my favorite jokes that usually work, especially when there's like 3 people mildly paying attention.
All right, let's go.
We got 6 here.
All right, so I got
3 right
3 mildly paying attention,
and they're not paying attention.
3 mildly, and okay. So joke number one, everybody. Whenever there's couples in the house, I always bring up this joke. I'm like, hey, there's couples in the house. Before I got here, I was watching CNN, and they had a report where they said when it comes to relationships between men and women, 90% of the time, men are the first to say "I love you," but we're the second ones to mean it. Right, guys?
Hey, that's right. That's right.
And then I say, I didn't say we don't mean it eventually, but that's how we get past the 90-day grace period, guys. I love you. right,
Love
here's
it.
another one I do. On the same one, I'm like, oh, and by the way, I know we just got out of the pandemic. I actually saw a report that was saying that during the pandemic, there was an alarming amount of people reusing condoms. I know. I don't use condoms. I'm telling you guys because I'm asking you about this. If you're not supposed to reuse condoms, then why do they have two sides, guys? Why do they have two sides?
Oh shit!
Just wash it.
By the way, I'm known as a people's comedian, and that's because I was raised, educated, and I currently survive on the people's tax dollars. Give it up for that. I support the people.
Food stamps.
Yes, absolutely.
Hell yes.
I support.
If you ain't cheating, you're winning.
I support movements, especially like Black Lives Matter. I support Black Lives Matter, but because I drink too much, I also support Black Livers Matter. Give it up for that. Black Livers Matter.
Hey, that's right.
Also, I know it might not look like it because I am Mexican. You might think that I am machista, but I am not. I am a super feminist. Yes, I support a woman's right to choose.
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
Especially if they choose to be a hoe. Hoe it up, ladies. Hoe it up. Be
I can
a
see that one
hoe. Your body, your choice, right? Your body, your choice. And for all those of you men out there that think you can't make a hoe into a housewife, not with that attitude.
That's right.
A couple other ones. Growing up as a kid, actually, my teachers used to call me a potty mouth, which is ironic because as a grown up, I love eating ass.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. That's me right there. That's me right there.
All right, a couple more. You
Too
guys
bad I
are
don't
gonna
see
like.
no fucking caca coming out of it.
Hey, I didn't say dirty ass. I didn't say con chocolate.
Elote.
Creamy
Nah,
ass.
you know what somebody said? Somebody said, I was watching this podcast a couple days ago, but they said un beso and
Beso negro.
No.
I actually asked the Mexican paisa, I'm like, hey, I have this ass eating joke. ¿Cómo se dice comer culo? They're like, ¿se dice comer culo o beso negro?
Nah, this guy was like un beso and fuck. See, I fucked up already.
¿En el chiquito?
No.
¿En el
Where do you?
chiquito?
Hey, where do you? ¿Cómo se? No. What do you
Remember
say?
the joke,
No. What do you call? How do you call it in Spanish? How do you call it in Spanish? Donde producen frijoles. Un beso en el productor de frijoles. Is that what it
¿En el
says?
comal?
No, güey. En el pinche. En el.
¿La cazuela?
No. No.
All right, guys, that's Ace of Faith.
Thank you guys. We're gonna end it on a high note, guys.
Un beso en some shit like that. En el productor de frijoles or some shit like that. It was fucking funny, dog.
All right, guys, I'm Darian, the Barbarian, and this is Ace of Faith.
Shout out to Google Translate if you guys want to figure out that joke.
I'm gonna find it out and I'm gonna find it out and I'm gonna fucking
Put it on
post
a
it.
reel. We'll put it on a reel for today.
And when he does, it's gonna justify and it's gonna be funny. All right,
Oh,
So you're
fuck
gonna-
yeah.
He's gonna say it in Colombian. He's gonna say it in Dominican. And it's gonna make sense across the line.
Oh hell no, fool. All right, one last one.
One last one. All right, I'll give you one last one. This is one of the classics. I grew up in South San Diego, man. So I love white girls. I love white girls. But the only time we get white girls down here is when they fall asleep on the bus or the trolley,
Oh shit.
or for $80 a
love
gram,
that.
which is just too much, right? Just too much. But hold on, the only thing I love more than white girls is Mexican women with blonde hair and deep dark roots. You know what I'm talking about. You've been a Jack in the Box, right? And that's because you guys know the lesson is the deeper and darker the roots, the lower the budget, and the lower the self-esteem. That's what you say.
That's right.
Fuck yeah.
That was a
There
good
you
one.
go.
I like that one.
Benji,
My comedy teaches you something.
go to Jack in the Box.
Facts.
Stay. Go to Jack in the Box, and especially the one that's right there by the border, because you'll find that a lot of them.
All those deep dark roots.
Hell yeah. Hey, man, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate fucking all the love you guys give us. Thank you, Benji, for coming out here today.
Thank
I
you
hope
very
we
much.
can
A lot
have
of fun. You
I
guys
hope
are great.
I hope you can come back, bro. This was such a short notice, dog. I hit you up this morning, and you said yeah, and I'm fucking thankful for that. Because a lot of people always fucking have to come up with excuses just because, they don't want to fucking either... change their plans or,
Camera shy.
just camera shy or, I don't know. For some reason, a lot of people just don't want to, give.
They're not ready, dog. They're not ready.
They don't
Fuck
want
them
to. They
people.
don't want to give some overtime. They want to just get off of work and go home and rest and then whatever. But we don't get paid for this. We do this shit for the love of the fucking for the love of the, content. We want to create the best content we can do all the time. Off the Clipper, you can watch us on YouTube and listen to us on every fucking podcast platform. You can also follow us on Ace of Fates, Barbershop and Tattoos on Instagram. Find us on Facebook. You can follow myself, Polo Cuts as D, on Instagram. Darian the Barbarian, Manny Rocks with the Z at the end. We got the whole gang like always. That Barber Cheapy, Shanice going as Tatnice on Instagram. Omatic made it. We got my boy. Can you please let everybody know where they can follow you on Instagram, bro?
Very easy. Benji GarciaReyes Comedy, BenjiGarcia.com. But the easiest one is our company, Up Comedy Shows. And you're going to find all the English, Spanish, LGBTQ, Paisa shows, and variety shows that we got going on. Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I can't wait to hang out with you guys some more and probably collaborate on further projects.
Yeah, bro. We were talking about that. Do you have any type of like YouTube channel or anything where we can watch your... do you have any shows or anything, online shows, anything like that?
Yeah. If you go to thepeoplescomedian.com, it's, my website. I have, clips from old or highlights from some of the better podcasts and projects that I've done.
Okay.
And, you can watch some old stand-ups. Hopefully I'm funny in those. I think I'm funny in those.
Yeah. Hopefully if you have anything going on, bro, hopefully I can come through. We can chop it up as well.
Yes.
And I want to fucking do some work together, collab. And keep in touch, bro.
We'll get you on stage, man. Eventually, we're gonna get you to Google the jokes before.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready.
You're gonna
for
land
that.
them. Yeah.
I want to go see you perform, and I want to for sure collaborate and I want to go see you perform. That's my main thing from now on. I like to build a relationship with the people that I bring into our podcast, just because I only invite people that I see that are doing good for themselves, that are, always fucking growing and shit like that. And that's why I actually fucking hit you up, because I was like, you know what, this guy is actually putting in work for his own brand.
Passion and persistence.
You're
baby.
passionate, exactly, bro. And I like
Appreciate
I've for the past 2 years, bro, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna stop bullshitting and stop hanging around people that aren't doing shit with their life.
Bingo.
I want to surround myself with people that are actually gonna, motivate me, not just benefit off of them, but I want to be people that can motivate me to keep going and remind me why I started doing this whole off the clipper stuff. I thank Manny all the time. This guy, we literally haven't seen a single cent from this. Manny's here with me every Tuesday night, just like Cheapy, my wife, and Omatic. When this guy's here from Vegas, he's here, and I'm super thankful for my crew. I'm super thankful for all the people that come and accept the invitation to coming out here, bro. So if I hit you up, please fucking take that shit in consideration, and be sure to come out here with us, hang out with us. It'll be a fun time. With that being said, good night. Much love. See you guys next Tuesday, baby.
Bye. Thank you, guys.